Welcome back over to the bridge, and today we're going to be explaining Karl Lore on the Dream SMP. Alright, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I also got a Discord and a Twitch, both linked in the description. I'd love it if you go check them out. Alright, hope you enjoy the video. So if you didn't know, he had another Tales of the SMP stream recently, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. In this Tales, he got transported into the future, about a year before, the events of Mizu. He, spawns next to Technoblade, who's playing a character called Porcius the Seventh. Porcius the Seventh is the king of this imaginary city, and they quickly head to the city's Coliseum, because today is the day of the games. Porcius is hosting a set of trials where a bunch of citizens, duke it out and fight to become the next general, and, he wants Karl to be their cameraman. It's basically just a series of 1v1s, and after each game there were interviews, and a winner would eventually be crowned. And the contestants were most of the Dream SMP members, all of course playing different characters for this Tales. In the end, Jackie, who is being played by Tubbo, ends up winning and becoming the general, and then Karl gets transported out essentially when he gets beheaded by Tubbo. Now, a little bit of backstory to this, alright? Porcius wanted Karl to record these things, right? And the entire time, apparently, Karl had a canonical lens cap on the lens, so the footage was essentially useless. Porcius got so mad he ordered Karl to get beheaded by the new general, which was Tubbo. And that's when Karl passes out and we go into the in-between segment. Now, during these games, another thing that happened is, potential Ranboo lore. So there was this character called Ran who was at the games, and it was just like Ranboo's black and green side. It was as if that, one side got, mirrored, and then, he had, different clothes, but pretty much it was just that one side of Ranboo. And I think that's why it was called Ran. Yet it's like a play on his name, it's like half his name, half his skin. Now, during the games, Karl said Ran actually creeped him out. The entire time he, didn't have a partner, his skin wasn't matching the theme of everybody else's, he just didn't fit. Everybody was, laughing, talking about their backstory when interviewing, but, when Ran got interviewed, he was just like, I don't want to talk about my history, and just ended it like that. He almost acted like he came back from, the normal Dream SMP world as well, which is definitely a possibility. When Ran finally got, canonically taken out of this Tales, he was like, I'll see you again, Karl. Ominously. So, that had to have meant something. Will we see Ran in more Tales of the SMP? Who knows? Also, when he died, he had, grass blocks in his inventory. Everybody else had nothing, but Ran had, grass blocks, mugs, a bunch of stuff, boats. So we found out later by Phil that was supposed to be this whole, introduction section with Rand before they even got to the Coliseum. But, Techno completely skipped it. I think he got, too excited or something, completely forgot that part, and they just scrapped it. So it was supposed to be more Rand lore, but now we just kind of, left in the dark. But anyway, that brings us to the in-between section of the Tales. Karl starts by getting sent to the in-between, reading the books like normal, nothing's really gone wrong yet. Suddenly, as he's, walking on this path, his vision, glitches. He finds, multiple books telling him to stay on the path. Whenever he, attempts to walk off this pre-existing path, he just gets teleported back. There's books by the in-between telling him that everything's gonna be okay as long as he stays on the path, and these books with, quotation marks for titles telling him that, the in-between is not your friend. These question mark books were all telling him to get to the portal. As he starts, wandering off the path like you do, he finds these, versions of himself that are just walking around aimlessly. Apparently, they got stuck in the in-between for too long, and now their brains have just rotted, and this is what Karl would become if he, stays in the in-between. Because of this, he starts, heading to the portal, the in-between threatens him, tells him not to go, he does it anyway. It's really just a cool scene. It's got, music, action, okay. It's got music, and he, cuts between first and third person, making it exciting. It's overall a great scene. Finally, he ends up going through, and that brings him to this place called the Other Side. Now, this is a massive build, bigger than the in-between, and it's all black themed, the opposite of the in-between. It's in the nether, it's flipped, pretty much the exact opposite. Instead of nether roses, it's this white tulip, symbolic opposites. Now, there's books here that tell Karl he's safe here, and there's another one saying, we'll learn more about this place in the future, and that's when the stream ends. So I'm assuming, the next Tales is going to tell us more about this place, but honestly, probably one of the greatest builds I've seen in Minecraft in a while. And I don't watch Hermitcraft or anything, but this thing was pretty good. Now, some theories that I've seen around, apparently when, like, text was flashing on the screen along with, like, the visual glitches, some of it was in, like, the Enderman language, like the enchantment table language. And this is the same language that Ranboo uses with his lore. So people are thinking that, like, this time travel arc is gonna link with Ranboo, especially with, like, Rand being in the tales and acting all strange. He might get involved with this plot, you know, it's kind of adding up. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And I have a Twitch I just started up. I'd recommend go checking that out, the link's in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!